All right. Welcome back, kind of. So what happened was in my first video. By the way, welcome to another Ludum Dare competition. Um, I had already been working on it for an hour. I was recording what I was doing, and uh, I accidentally not had the. It didn't record the what was on the desktop. So I have an hour video where there's no video. There's only audio. So yeah, so this might be actually the first episode of my Ludum Dare. It's technically the second one. But so I kind of don't really want to repeat myself because I am on a time limit for this game I'm making. The theme, this is Ludum Dare 52. The theme is harvest. Uh, and I'm not really going with the theme for this one. I kind of had an idea for a game and I'm just going to stick with it. I kind of wanted to do this in the last Ludum Dare event, but I thought since I was doing that with my daughters, uh, we would just do something with the theme. So I decided to save this for this one, and um, this one I'm doing by myself. I'm not doing it with my daughters at all. I'm only going to do it in the 48 hours of 2 days. So this game is a game. It's a card slash dice game where you are making a game for a Ludum Dare event. So that's kind of the theme, making a maybe even more than one game for a jam. And so the cards are going to represent different elements of a game, like a main player, a type of game, a um, the setting. And so you're trying to complete these cards using actions, programming actions, and using other cards to kind of complete those cards. So in the first episode, I basically was working on my card manager. We have a few scripts here. Here's the card. It has things like the type of card it might be. Uh, Cards are going to have symbols. So a card can be used in two ways. One is to play the card as part of your program, or you play the card as a symbol to complete a card you're working for your game. Um, and so these are the symbols. Uh, and then other things, cards will have bugs. Cards will have different programs that you have to program symbols you have to complete. So, for example, a card might be the Mario card quotation mark. So you have a Mario character for your game, and the Mario character. Matter of fact, if I go to my game manager, in there I already made the first card. It's called the Guy card, which maybe I'll change the name to like Fario. Whoops, Fario, or whatever. We'll just call it Guy. We'll call him Jumper. Okay, Jumper. So the Jumper card would be a type of hero. No description right now. The value is how many points you'll get at the end of the game. Let's just change the sprite for making the card. Then the programming symbols it has two programming symbols, two art programming symbols. And so in order to complete this card, you have to program it twice, and each time it needs to be with another card that has this symbol as its type. Um, so these are going to be, yeah. So then we're going to have, then the symbol itself that's a part of this card is an art symbol. And these are going to be displayed in the top left corner. Uh, and I made a function for drawing cards by, we got like a couple, we have all the cards, we have the deck, which is where you're drawing from. You have a discard pile, you have the idea row. This is where you'll be able to like choose what cards you want. We're gonna have a list of symbols, sprites, and then we have a function for drawing the cards, which you just say the amount, you say which one of those lists you want to draw from, and then it just takes the top cards for how many. and it adds it to the list that you want to add it to. So we could draw cards from the deck, we could draw cards from our hand, we could draw cards from the deck and add them to the discard pile, we could draw them from the thing and add them to our hands. Uh, we have a discard function and kind of does the same thing. It removes a card from whatever list you want it. And it adds it to the discard pile. And then we also have a shuffle function. You can send it any list of cards, and it's going to do it 50 times and basically randomly picks one of the cards in the list, removes it from the list, and then randomly put it in a different spot. And then we're eventually going to have a list of abilities down here for the cards. So when you complete a card, it's going to give you an ability. And we do have a script for that. Just it doesn't do much, but we have maybe different ability types. So the goal of the game is to try to make as many games as you can within a certain time. It's not a time game, but you're going to have units of time. You're also going to have these dice that you roll, and every time you roll the dice, you have to spend a unit of time. So you can re-roll the dice as much as you want, but each time you have to use a time. And another thing with a card, um, there's a programming time. So maybe doing the art, which I don't think I did for this card here. Go back to this thing here. So the Jumpman, we would say card dot program time dot add, and maybe it takes 1. And then card dot program time dot add 1. So both of these will only take 1 time for you to make that Mario card. So in order to complete a game, you have to have those 4 things: a main player, a genre, like is it an RPG game, is it a platform game, the setting, where does it take place, and then the enemy the main enemy of the game. It could be that a game could have more than one enemy. We'll see if I get to that point. So yeah, I was working on, in the first video I stopped it at creating the actually creating the card visually, and so this does that. It gets whatever the card is. This is a card controller. It's going to get a card, get the text of the card, and we're going to probably have more than just that. The symbols. That's what I've been working on first, just showing the symbols in the top left corner, and that's what this is doing. So it's going to create dynamically, so I don't have to spend a lot of time creating cards by hand. Alright, so this is going to go under prefabs. Let me do that. Okay, let me delete this. So let's test this out. We're going to go to our card manager. This is going to get very long, so it might be that I put this in a different script altogether. So let's just say testing card. So up here at the top, we're going to say public game object card prefab. So down here we're going to say game object test card is equal to card prefab. Actually, let's say instantiate this card prefab. Card prefab dot get component the card controller, and then card actually let's say card card controller is equal to this. Card controller dot card is equal to, let's say, deck 0. So let's get the top card from the deck. Let's go to our card controller and actually do a public void set up card. And actually, let's just send it a card. So we want all of this. And we want to say card, this dot card is equal to card. Okay, it's card manager. All right. We're just going to load this really quick. Whoops. Let's do a new sprite. I don't know, 16 by 16. All right, it's been a while since I've used a sprite. All right, this is just for testing, so let's just do blue color. All right, let's do red color. Hmm. And then new green. All right, let's export this as a sprite sheet. Border sprite layout by rows. Borders, just say 1, spacing 1. Actually, do both. 1, golly, 1 and 1. And then let's output file. Okay, so where would this be? Oh man, where would the file be? Let's just do a new file, LD52, and save this as symbols. Okay, export. Now let's grab that really quick. Data, art. All right, there we go. Change this to point, none, and multiple. Sprite editor. Alright, so we were going to say one's called code, one is art, and one is playtest. Those were the thematic choices. I already feel like I'm behind. I mean, I haven't even made the cards yet. Darn it. That's fine. Like my goal was to try to get like done tonight, like the basic of the game, and then play test. Like I feel like I need to play test my game more before I get into like doing any of the art or anything. I think the nice thing about making a card game is that even if I don't get, the art isn't critical. If I don't draw a picture for every one, I could still just use the words and people can just read it. But it would be nice if I have enough time to do the art. All right. So why did I do that? Because I need symbols. So coding was, I think, the first one. And then art. We have to make sure that this is in the right order. And then play test. I need a wild symbol too. But we'll just add that later. Can I play it? Will it work? I don't know. We're gonna find out. I didn't add the prefab. So let me add the prefab. Okay. Index out of range. Dex 0. Why is Dex 0 out of range? Oh, because I subbed the deck after it. Let's do this then later. Let's not do that there. Let's put it right here. Because there was nothing added to the deck. I first put all the cards in the all cards list, and those ones never get touched. So I always have a reference to all the cards. And that's in case I ever need to duplicate it. Okay, so now we got another one. Null reference object. Set cards. All cards. Deck 0. Deck is equal to a new list of cards based on the all cards. We do have a deck 0. Null reference to this card controller. So there's no card controller on my prefab. It's project. Card name. This is the symbol group. This is the card name. Which really, this could go here. I don't want this to be underneath it. Okay. And then the padding. Let's just say it's 18. I don't know what that will do. Whoops, let me play it. Okay. Back. Hold up. It made it, but it didn't make it. Oh, I don't think I set up the thing. So after I do that, actually I don't even want to say 0. I'm going to say card controller dot setup card deck 0. Still ain't working. Okay, so this goes to the setup. I mean, this should at least work. Alright, debug, .log. Come on. Card name. Jumper. Oh, it worked that time. Did I miss it? Alright, symbols. We're not getting the symbols though. Alright, well let's get rid of this. Debug.log card.symbols.count. Okay, we have one symbol. Oh, here it is. Right? New game object, okay. So it is doing that correctly. We need to say a couple things. It's showing behind it. Symbol dot sprite render. Let's just do it right here. Dot sorting layer ID. Sorting layer name is equal to card front. I'm going to have to check the spelling. So that'll put it in the front. Okay. Card. Okay. I could set the symbol. There we go. It's itty bitty. Let me go back to my I didn't want to do that. I want to say symbol group. Symbol group dot transform. Let's go to our sprite. And let's say the pixel unit is, let's say it's 16. Should make it bigger. There we go. So now, still not adding it to all up. Card manager, prefab, symbol group. Okay. This padding might be 0.5. I might need to change that to a, let's just say 1 and see what it does. I might have to add more than one symbol to test this out. It's putting it here. Can error. Send the parent of a transform which resides in a prefab. Okay. Hold up. Oh, I think I'm doing this wrong. This needs to be test card. I was using the prefab and not the actual card. Let me just make sure. Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's not too bad. Let's try adding another symbol and see where it places it. Card controller. No, card manager. Let's add another symbol. Let's just do another art symbol. Okay, yeah, that's actually pretty good. So that's kind of how it's going to work. So these symbols show you that this is the type of card. I might put it over here on the right hand side, but I might have the value over here on the right hand side or somewhere else. Oh, let's worry about that later when I get to more of the graphic stuff. All right. So that's those symbols. Let's copy this name text, and we're going to say programming. Um, how do I want to say it? How do I want to say it? How do I want to say it? Let's call it like tasks. So these are your tasks for the thing. So let's change it to task. Well, I won't call it programming, but yeah, programming. And the reason why I want to call it programming is because that kind of makes more sense. Because when you roll the dice, it's called programming. It's called the programming action. All right. So we're going to do another thing, kind of the same, but this is going to be program symbol group. If I can come up with something better than that word, I will. Let's put it right there. This isn't going to change. These symbols are just symbols. All right, and then let's do this next. Actually, let's copy this. And we're going to call this why does that one have a rec? This one doesn't. I guess it does. Let's call this a value text. And then, actually, let's say, I'm trying to think of like how to squeeze all this in because I want to show the value. I want to show how many bugs. Well, the bugs could actually be like little pictures on. Now, it'll be easier just to do as a number. I was thinking just add randomly these bugs, but I don't like that. I mean, it might look cool visually, but I think I'll do it as a value, and you'll slowly see it go away. I could add it as like down at the bottom here, so I program and then do it like that, stack them at the bottom. Kind of do the same thing that I did with this programming group. So we're going to call it bug group. Let's do it like that. And we'll do all this in the card controller. So but we do need a name text. We do need a value. Now if I feel like I'm running out of room, I can always make the card bigger. All right. Let's move this down more because we're also going to need some text for the abilities. So let's just say 0. Oops, no, value text, but change this to 0. Kind of move it over here. Okay. All right, let's get all this set up then. So we need in our card controller. None of this needs to be public. Just serialize it. Just private serialize. Our private serialize or serialize private. We're going to say value text. Okay, and then we want kind of this stuff. We're going to call this the program group. And then last one, we want the bug group. In our card manager, we're just going to have a symbol public sprite, call it bug sprite. Let's go back to here. Set up symbols, set up program symbols. It's going to work the same way. So I could have let's just do a void set up symbols. And what you would do no, let's just do it this way. All that's going to be the same. We want this to be called program symbols. Is that what it's called? Yep. Use the program symbols. Everything else is the same. It's the only thing we have to change. Right? Okay, so that sets up that. Here, let's do at the top, set up the card display. So value text.text is equal to card.value. To string. And then down here, we want to say set up bugs. we want to do the same thing as this. We're going to say card.bug amount. List. Don't need a list. Just int. Why was I thinking list before? No, we just need an int, the number of bugs. And going back to card controller, instead of doing this, the symbols, we're going to say bug sprite. Not bug spray, bug sprite. There's not going to be any bug spraying in our game. Alright, so that should all be good, but this needs to be the program symbol group. Symbol group. I'll just call it program group, whatever. Program group. And this is going to be the bug group. So it seems like, this is a lot of stuff you got to do, taking a while to set up these cards, but once when I have it, then I don't need it'll make them all. Let's go back here. New frame. And actually, let's do one more new frame. It's going to be like a question mark. Whoops. So let's make it this color. Let's do pencil. Alright, we'll fix all this later, but there we go, question mark. And then here, we are going to erase, just whatever, we'll leave it for now. Let's just make it a bug. I don't even care. Okay, a little bug. We'll draw that better later. Okay. Export spreadsheet. Yes. Which, darn it. It does it here, but it's not doing it in here. Which means I gotta delete this. Eventually I'll save it in the right spot. Okay? Eventually. Drop that there. Set this all up again. Multiple. None. Point apply. Spray editor. 1, 2. What the heck? Oh, I erased it. Darn it. Whatever, just leave it for now. We'll fix it later. This is called code. It's called art. It's called playtest. It's called wild. It's called bug. Back to my card manager. We need the bug sprite, code, art, and playtest. And then in our prefab, I think I need to attach all these. We need to attach the programming group, program symbol group, the value text, and the bug group. Here, let's see what happens. Okay, so we have our two programming, we have our jumper, we have the 5. Let's add the bugs, because I didn't do that. Card.bug amount is equal to 2. Just make sure that's working also. Oh, there we go. So we got our card. We don't have the ability on there, but we'll worry about that later when we actually start working on the abilities. That is pretty cool. So that's the first part. Now let's get a deck. So um, let's create a empty idea row. Idea row. So this will be the idea row. Okay, so our card manager needs the idea row, and we're going to how are we going to do this? You know, there's a thing where maybe I would keep this separate, and so every time I draw the card, I would I would have like an event and say, hey, we're doing this. But we're not going to do that. Public display idea row. Let's just think. So let's say let's have a public void draw cards to idea row. Okay. And we're going to say int amount. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do a up here public int card padding, and we need a public int public game object idea row. Idea row group. All right, so what we want to do is we draw the cards to the row. Actually, let's say this refill idea row. So for I is starts at the idea row dot count -1, or no, to the as long as it's less than 6, so we're going to have a total of 5 cards in our display that we can choose from. So if there was no ideas, we're going to place those. Alright, so we're going to say, actually, do we need to do that? No, let's do this. Current ideas is equal to idea row dot count. Okay, so that will equal the number of counts. We don't want to loop through this. This will be more for creating those cards. What we want to do is say draw cards. We're going to say idea row dot count -6, comma. The list is from the deck. The place is the idea row. Okay, so we're going to draw those cards. Now that's not going to do anything yet. We're going to do this because we might just send a card and then card. Okay. Alright, so this will draw that many cards and put it in the idea row. So for testing, let's just say refill idea row. So that does that. And now we want to display, starting from the idea row count, no, starting from the current ideas to 6. Okay, we're going to say create card. You would think that's what I would do, right? But I'm not doing that. I want to create the current ideas comma, current ideas plus I. Is that right? No. No, I. We just want I. In our create card thing, we're going to say X position. Float X position. And we want to say test card dot transform dot parent is equal to the idea. No, we don't want to do that either. Darn it. Here we want to send a game object, call it the parent. Because we want to be able to do the same thing for creating the card if it's in your hand. So we want to say test card dot transform dot parent is equal to I'm going to say parent group. Okay, then the test card dot transform dot transform dot, no, just local position is x position comma 0. I have to say new vector 2 position. It's equal to. It's not a method that receives arguments. Okay, and so then when we're doing this, we want to say I times the um, card padding. Card padding. And we need to say parent group would be idea row group. All right, so the card manager, we need to do card padding. Let's just say 1. Idea row is this, which we're going to just move somewhere. Let's see if it happens, and then I'll probably stop it here. And all right, we got errors. -6. I need to do this the other way. This needs to be 6 minus that. And really, I should probably not say 6. I should probably have a little thing at the top for total idea cards. There we go. All right, you might be wondering, so the padding's not right. Do we have 5 cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6. So we got 1 too many. So which means we want to just say 5 and do 5. Right? Let's just double check. One, two, three, four, 5. And if I go to my card manager, I should be able to see we have 5 cards in our idea row. Awesome. Get rid of this because we're not using it. And let's do, let's go back here and mess with the padding. Say it's, I don't know, 15 or 16. Too much. Okay, so that seems good enough. We would just do our main camera here and zoom out some. And obviously center this. Whoops, let's leave that at 0, 0, but we can move this like right here. Yeah. See, it's not going to, like if you do this, but we might have like a, I don't want to mess with changing anything with it, but maybe you can, I don't know who's going to do that. Who's going to play the game like this? If you're playing the game like this, forget it. Play something else. We'll just leave it like that for now. Okay, so we got cards drawing. All right, I'm going to stop the video here. Hopefully it did record this time. And I will see you in a little bit.